Anyway, cool.
They think I know something I don't.
Just in the heat of battle, just brained the tabaxi.
Hey there, buddy.
We all get it. Love you.
Go away. They're already mine.
But if something were to go wrong,
He said I looked real tired, and he gave me this cream that has diamonds in it.
Bring us your host special, eh?
the before times.
That's how you'll probably reach fame.
Yeah.
I saved a baby.
You shaved a baby? When did you shave a baby?
Let's go find a room.
Welcome back to Dice Shame, episode 90, No Worse for Wear.
This week's MVP is Lucas Green, who shouted us out on Twitter. Thanks, Lucas.
Looking for some more amazing shows to fill your evening? Whichever Path is an anthology series where your decisions affect the story. Their stories are based on America's Northeast and feature characters finding themselves in the thick of the unknown while tackling issues like queer identity, gender, race, and spirituality. They're an amazing show and well worth your time. Check them out at www.whicheverpath.com or anywhere you can find podcasts.
All right, should we get down to it?
Let's do this.
It's getting hot in Canada, which means that Harlan cranks the AC in the house so that he's comfortable.
Totally.
Fact.
We have different body chemistry. What can I say?
Huh?
Keeps you awake.
It's a lot easier to get warm, though, than to get cold. So it's usually like Harlan makes it cold in the house, and then I'm like drinking something hot or wearing a big sweater or something. And I use an electric heating pad pretty much whenever I'm sitting here in our office at my desk. It's on the floor. It keeps my feet warm. And I think it falls pretty securely in the realm of old person habits, which leads me to the question I wanted to ask everybody tonight. We're all in our 30s. Some of us are earlier 30s. Some of us not so early 30s anymore. And I presume we're all starting to slowly accumulate old person habits, like reusing tea bags.
White smack on the corners of our mouths.
Well, that's not a habit so much as just an
reality.
inevitability. Yeah. Do you have embarrassing shit that you do that's like old dude stuff?
Fart.
I've got a good one to start us off.
I fart a lot.
So I was out on my lawn and I'm standing there and I see these two guys approach and they're like my age and they're pretty hip and they're
ancient.
heading down the street. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I'm standing there, pulling dandelions. And I just felt like, oh,
That's good.
I'm like, I'm pulling dandelions.
I mean, maybe this is TMI.
The shit I took.
Bring it on. Bring
you're
it.
not too far off. I mean, gas, guys. I mean, I'm just discovering that I'm a gassy man. And it's okay. It's all right. But
Okay.
Well,
You
it's
know,
not. You just care less now that you're older. That's the thing. Everyone was
it, yeah.
gassy, but when they're older, they're like, oh, well.
yeah, but also I think maybe I'm developing like food sensitivities over time. Like soy just destroys the whole house.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You know how grandparents' houses always have a certain smell to them?
Smell.
Yes.
And it's just like, it's always comforting.
Is that fart smell?
Well, so I didn't know what it
just
was, but
farts.
it was always, Oma and Opa's house always smelt a certain way.
Yeah.
And one time my Oma was over and she was hanging out with my mom and I while we were doing some renovations. And she just let out the loudest, like, just ripper. And
Yeah, Oma.
we were like, yeah, okay, all right, Oma. And then she's like killing herself laughing. And
Rock
then
on, Oma.
I get a couple whiffs. I'm like, oh, that just smells like your house.
Oh no.
Did you say that to her?
That's
I think I might
awesome.
have. I don't remember, but it was hilarious. She thought it was funny.
Wow, Grandma, that fart smelled exactly like how your house
Like
normally
potpourri
smells.
and rose petals.
That's weird to think that your Oma farts old house smell.
Can that? Can we sell this?
This
Can we
is candle.
capitalize on this in some way?
Old house candle scent.
100% authentic house smell. Canned farts from grandma.
And Oma farts.
I mean, The closest I've got to like the thing that reminds me of like, oh, I feel like an old now is really just
An old.
how much I care about watching birds and how mad I am at squirrels. Just all the time. Just be like, oh, what kind of bird is that? I better stop and screw around. I hear it tweeting I don't recognize. I'm going to try and figure out where it's coming from.
As you're heading down the stairs
Oh, yeah.
with your laundry, and you're like, oh.
I think that's a subclass of old person,
Yeah.
and I totally see you subscribing into that subclass.
Bird love?
Yeah, bird love.
But it's one like it runs in the family. Like for the whole growing up, we're like, I don't understand why my grandma was into this or cares about all this or has 5 books about
Right.
identifying birds. Don't care at all as a kid. And now I'm like, I kind of get it now. Oh man, I wish I had one of those
God, I
books
wish
to
I
figure
had
out
those
what.
books.
Yeah.
My subclass, yeah, I've definitely started to put some points in my old person subclass. I definitely feel a bit nosy. Like every once in a while, I'm looking out the front window and I'm just like, a car pulls up, and this is the funniest. The other day, there was some Rogers guys, I guess, which is the internet company around here, and they were looking at a neighbor's house, not even mine, and one of the guys, and I was home alone. And one of the guys gets out of the car and he starts smoking. And I caught myself talking and going, smoking on the job, eh?
Just taking a break.
Oh,
You
yeah.
haven't even started.
And
yet.
then I had this like crystallizing like, oh God,
yourself.
who gives a shit?
I bet you take an extra 15 minutes on lunch, too.
No, but just
don't
this
you?
like
Yes, you do.
like literally just standing at the window with a cup of coffee, like watching these people.
Just looking
Like,
outside
I
at the
mean,
neighbors.
that also might be explained through COVID and lack of being able to talk to real people in
Physical
person.
conversation.
Yeah.
Just like, I definitely refer to people that are passing by in old persons, be like, hey guys, hi. Oh, you got a nice bike there. Yeah. Okay. Well, enjoy.
Please talk to me.
Ride safe.
I'm home alone.
And Joe?
What about you, Joe?
Mine
people
I
habits?
think is the electric heating blanket
Oh,
is the
right,
most
yes,
okay. Yeah.
that's the most egregious old person habit that I have right now. I don't know if I can think of anything else off the bat, but also like folded blanket at the end of my bed.
You definitely had a shawl period that we had to talk about. That felt a bit too much for me. That was like going
Wearing
into
the blanket as a cape around
yeah,
the house.
it was a short time when you started wearing it like a bit like a shawl, and I was just like, hey, can we do
Can
something?
we talk about how you look like
Can
you're
I
60?
buy you a nice sweater and can I make something happen? Because I want you to be comfortable and warm, but the shawl is very, very much reminding me of
Not doing it for
my
you, hey?
grandmother. Well, I mean, it's the same with me, right? Like old people, they hike those shorts up. And if I was like I want to say a t-shirt tucking into shorts, but right now my t-shirt is tucked
I'm
into
looking
my
over there,
shorts.
correct? Yes, you are.
But it wasn't for most of the day.
Do any of you own Tilly hats yet?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, well, Henry
Yeah.
does.
Henry
okay.
does.
Huh?
All right,
He's
that
the oldest.
qualifies.
They're at the cottage, though. If you need
No,
them,
there's
they're
Tilly
all
hats at
there.
the cottage,
There's
I'm
like
sure.
30 that you can just borrow.
They're a cottage hat. They're
They're
always there.
useful. To have the little string underneath that you can tighten in case it's a little
Oh.
bit of a windy day.
Honestly,
A little bit.
I do it all the time at the cottage. Yeah. Tighten it right up.
And then when you don't need it anymore, you can just slide it off the back of your head and it'll hang down on the cord, right?
Tighten that
You
Tilly
don't
hat.
need to carry it around.
I mean, I also have been just appreciating silence more, which is definitely an old person thing, I think.
Yeah.
When you're young or even, in your 20s, you're kind of like, oh man, let's get something, let's put something on and music. And don't get me wrong, I still can be very much like that. But I also sometimes I'm just like, I just want to sit in the sunbeam for like 20 minutes
Yeah,
with
man.
nothing around and zone out and enjoy that for a second. Oh, you're old because you fall asleep in sunbeams. That's
do.
definitely an
Oh
old
man,
person.
that's
Yeah.
Just napping in the
weakness.
sunbeam.
absolutely.
Also, I've been doing the like over exaggerated shoulder checks when I'm driving, which I
Huh?
think is an old person thing as well. But that's just how I drive.
Hmm,
Speaking of getting old, I don't know if your characters are gonna get old because they might die. 'Cause This is D&D. Who
Uh-oh.
knows?
Yeah.
Last session was actually a really close call.
Yeah.
If Kraloth hadn't smacked Red's face with his mace,
And that
that would have been really hard
that
to get back.
invisibility berry that Red ate
Oh,
yeah.
at the last minute was clutch. Allowed you to escape
Yeah.
those creatures.
Oh, you mean had I not followed you?
Yeah, had you not followed me?
I totally missed where you. I was like, where did that happen?
yeah.
You're right. Yeah. No, that was crazy.
I thought you meant like you hit him with the mace, but you like
I was
you
scared.
tapped him.
Great.
I was like, I don't remember
yeah, it
you
was an
hitting
I accidentally knocked his face.
In the heat of battle, just brained the tabaxi.
Oops, sorry.
And left.
I attack him when he's sleeping.
When he least expects it.
It's interesting to think that we've leveled up in like less than a year. You know, it's been
Oh,
like 2
yeah.
months.
Right.
It's interesting to think. You think of leveling up like in a more, you know, but realistically, our characters have gone anywhere from like 30 to 150 years of their lives, and then have had like a month
Yeah.
where they did
Really
everything
intense.
important.
I think it's a combination of things. I think when you don't use a skill, it erodes, right?
That's what I was about to say,
Doran was a soldier, right? And he was a very skilled warrior, but then he kind of retired from that life.
So you think he got like up to level 8 and then went back
I was
down?
just,
Yeah.
I was just about
That's
to say
cool.
that. I think
cool.
that we kind of all go through that where like maybe in previous years of your life, you like spent a lot of more time traveling. And then you like forget spells and you're like, whatever, I'm busy with Torrent and stuff.
Well, that's cool to think that maybe Kraloth at one point will remember, you know, be like, I remember this spell. You know what I mean? Like, because
yeah.
Kraloth, I think, was like unquestionably the most powerful. I think Jack and Red seem like the characters that are learning this for the first time.
Yeah.
Whereas Doran and Kraloth are the characters that are relearning these skills
Yeah.
for
And-
different reasons.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
and with Red and the whole memory thing, I mean, there could be like a whole period of time where you lost kind of what you knew, and you're slowly regaining memory as well.
What memory thing?
You mean Kraloth?
You mean Kraloth?
No, I mean Red as well with the orange beaches or the purple sands or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
the rocks.
That stuff.
It
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
like
yeah.
dreams, but it could be memories. I'm just saying, it's like
That's true.
interesting.
Theories.
Maybe I'm super.
Oh,
Spoilers.
I don't know. Tossing ideas out there for our listeners to ponder. They think I know something I don't.
Right into the show.
P.O. Box 125.
D&D Avenue.
Paris, Ontario.
All right. Should we play some D&D?
Yes. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Woo!
Hey,
You cling to the glossy black feathers of giant vultures, securely saddled between their powerful wings as they fly north towards Yarder. Each of you is wearing a pointed steel helmet stolen from the bodies of the cultists you dispatched back in the ruins of the canyon's spire. It's cold up here, just below the tumultuous gray clouds, and your view of the countryside below is sprawling. You travel all day before the city of Yarder hoves into view, tying up the rivers underneath you like a bow.
What are we going to do with these vultures when we get down there?
Well, we'll find a place to sell them. I'm sure they'll go for some good money. I pat the side of my griffin/vulture. I say griffin/vulture because I immediately named my vulture Griffin, just to seem less stupid.
Of course.
Right, Griffin?
We're really high up here. Doran yells across to Kraloth. Don't look down.
I'm sure you needed the reminder, Doran.
Yeah, it's like 8 hours of flying, and then we're like,
You traveled all day, basically.
Starting to feel this in my groin. Are we almost there?
yeah, I think Yada's over there.
Yeah, just down there through the clouds, Doran. See?
Oh, yes.
Through the clouds. I only see clouds.
No. Between them.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we fly down. I mean, we familiarized ourselves with the night market pretty well. Even though it's day, I'm sure we can find a stable that we can hawk these off at. We don't need more traveling.
Pun intended? No pun intended?
Hawk them off. I mean, these people are like vultures.
Totally, yeah. I mean, as you come down through the sky and you land somewhere in Yarder, on the outskirts of Yarder, who knows? It's coming up on evening, like the sun is getting low, and you realize that as the seasons draw on and the end of the year gets closer, the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer. So even though it's a little bit earlier on in the evening, it is getting dark already. You traveled all day. So by the time you arrive in Yarder with your vultures kind of hopping and pecking behind you, these huge birds, it is evening and the night market is in full swing. If you'll recall, there are some exotic animal traders in the night market. So you want to sell your birds?
Yeah, we don't need more things weighing us down.
Yeah, you guys don't like material possessions at all.
No.
No, but we're going to travel to Mirabar, and
No,
then
absolutely.
how useful is Griffin the vulture going to be up north?
I don't think they would let you take
It's
them.
just that Harshnag couldn't ride one, you know?
Think of the
very
giants.
That's
Will somebody think of the giants?
Also, they're OP.
Yeah. So for your gear, like the saddles and stuff, they're specialty saddles, and as well the birds. You end up getting 280 gold for the 4 animals. And
That's it? Seems like we got ripped off.
Should we just stock up on a second set of diamonds? I'll be honest. And Kraloth walks up to Red, who's handled the exchange. Things were pretty close back there in the tower. One of us could have gone down easily, and we've only got one set of being able to cast Revivify. Maybe we should get a second set of diamonds.
Yeah, absolutely. Here. And I hand the money directly to Kraloth. Go buy diamonds. Lots of diamonds.
All right, I'll hit up the diamond store.
And I turn back to the vulture person. I'm like, are you sure you can't give us a little bit more?
No.
Go away. They're already mine.
You got to think having to wear the dumb helmets really lowers the price on these things.
That's fair. As soon as you guys take your helmets off, the vultures rebel against you,
Uppity.
their handlers.
I hope Zulkin didn't take his helmet off.
You'll never know.
Crazy old
That's
Zulkin.
the last you'll ever hear from him, I'm sure.
Cackling into the sunset.
Anyway, after Kraloth gets his diamonds, and Red sort of looks around at the night market starting to kick off. But, there's a bit of... His oats have been sown. He's feeling like they did a good break in Yarder. And with a much more serious demeanor, he turns to Doran and Jack and says, what do you say we kick off to Mirabah? I'm sure it's getting close to the time we're meant to meet Hashnag anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a day or two out. Maybe we could sleep the night and head out there the morning.
I look at my companions here, and I think they're all looking a little beat up, a little worse for tear.
You mean worse for wear?
That's the one. A little worse for wear.
This is the D&D equivalent where everything's slightly different.
I mean, to me, I was wondering, was it TEAR or TARE? I was like, what are you thinking this means?
I don't think TARE is a word.
Yeah, tear.
Of course it is.
Like tear.
They're not both spelled the same.
No.
No, that's news to me.
Worse for tear?
I just learned how to spell tear.
Let's change this podcast into a definitions podcast
So-
where we do one word
Alex
every
learned
show.
words.
An allowance made for the weight of packaging in order to determine the net weight of goods. Worse for tear. Like, I thought, maybe I'm dumb, and that's like a really clever carryover from like the time when they would weigh things. And, it's like, oh, we're a little
now?
worse for tear. I don't know. I was
What do you
going on
think
the
tear
thing.
means?
When is the time when people weigh things?
is this the conversation that you guys are having when
I
Kraloth
don't
gets
know.
back?
Railroad age?
The before times.
Before times. Before the world fell. No, but like, I'm thinking like railroad age, like the early 1900s, like when they were...
Stealing west for tear.
Because it's not important to weigh things when you're shipping them air freight.
Nah.
No, I'm just saying that was the most important. I was saying like, they're like, oh, the load is a little light today. Well, we're no worse for tear. We'll still make our time. We'll still be able to get the full money for the shipment. I don't know. I was giving Alex the benefit of the doubt. Clearly, I was wrong.
No, Alex deserves the benefit
Alex,
of
you
the
should have
doubt.
rolled with it.
Well, I was thinking,
I think we should take a new worse for tear. I think what it should be
Worse
is
for
like
tear.
Coined a new phrase here.
I guess I never really
you might be right.
even considered that word tear, actually, in how you're spelling it. I was thinking tear as in torn, which is not
Yeah,
spelled
that's fair.
T-A-R-E.
I think our next podcast after Dice Shame is wrapped up.
it's called No Worse for Tear.
It's going to be called Railroad Times.
Yeah.
Worse for tear.
And
We're going to be cowboys and
or
shit.
words for tear.
The before times.
But it's not that, that could be a newspaper. It's not like the Today or the Times. It's, the before times.
the full time.
So I'm looking at my companions, and they're looking worse than I can't even fucking use it.
No worse for wear.
They look
a
like
little
shit.
worse for wear.
Really? You all look like hell. You need a
Good
fucking
or
rest.
bad?
They look really beaten up. Yeah.
Everyone, I mean, I'm sure Kraloth is looking a little bit green around the gills, as it were.
I feel terrible. That's it with an A.
Oh, come now.
Well, Kraloth actually returns, and he's looking very vibrant. In fact, it looks like his skin is sparkling slightly. And
he got his diamond in
he
makeup.
says, "Hey, yeah, so I got some cool stuff from the diamond seller. He said I looked real tired, and he gave me this cream that has diamonds in it. You put it on your face. Here, let me show you, Doran." And Kraloth squeezes out some diamond gel and rubs it on Doran's face and beard, and then he's glistening.
And then Doran's face absorbs it, like
oh, let me just
So-
apply a little more here.
so
So his skin is so dry.
I mean, there's definitely something about dwarves being, attracted to gemstones and sparkly things anyways. The idea that they might decide a sparkly skin could be a dwarven cosmetic.
Okay, so
you want to shine in the darkness. I could see
I like
that.
that. So you rub it on my face, and I turn around, and I've got these like rosy cheeks and supple skin. Like I'm just like
He looks like a Santa's elf, know?
yeah.
Like,
Keebler?
he's like,
I look like one
everyone.
of the 7 dwarves.
anyway,
Right,
cool.
right.
That looks nice.
Oh, thanks, Kraloth. I feel very I feel very good.
It's lifting, apparently.
We were just thinking we're going to head straight off to Mirabar unless there's anything else you needed to do here, Kraloth.
Did you guys want to sleep here or sleep
Oh.
in Mirabar?
I mean,
We're
we
not allowed
yeah.
back in that place.
I mean, there are other taverns.
I mean, it's been a long day. We've been traveling already.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, guys. I kind of want a more quiet sleep than Yada's night scene can provide.
I mean, listen. Nobody's inside in the inn trying to go to sleep during when we are. Everybody else is out on the town. I don't have strong opinions one way or the other.
I don't care.
You guys walk past the Merry Serpent, and there's like drawings of your faces out front with like big X's through them.
All right, let's go to Mirabar. Maybe
Yeah,
we can
let's
find
just,
it. Start fresh.
Cool. Cool.
Back to the
I
portals?
feel like we do like a spin on our heels and is the portal here the one that's in like
It's in the backyard with the
gated garden?
Hey, let's just be easy on the berries this time. We don't want to hog them all. They're growing them for a reason. We better leave some.
Oh, don't worry. I got plenty left over. They're all in here.
Oh, great.
You make your way back to the dilapidated cottage that you know conceals the Harper's teleportation circle. And after you knock, Kolbaz opens the door, surly as ever.
Hi.
Come in then. Should have known I'd be seeing you so soon.
Hello.
Hey, Kolbaz.
You know, you said this city wasn't very good, but it's the best city we've been to in a long time.
Yeah, I love it here. Hey, do you want some face cream?
No, get that stuff away from me.
Stop wasting our diamond dust. That's for revivifying people.
That's awfully intimate.
Oh.
He looks at you kind of with a hard eye, Red. Your goat disappeared.
Yeah. Oh.
Didn't have anything to do with it, I swear. 1 second, I was giving him a nice scratch behind the ears. The next second, he, poof, left me all alone.
Oh.
I'd just gone and bought him some alfalfa, too. And you see in the corner, there's like a little, bale of grass.
Well, I'm sure he's around here. And Red, kind of winks at the others. He's like, let me look. And Red's, pretending to look under things. And then he goes over to, a coat rack, which undoubtedly has been searched many times. He's like, oh, here he is. And he, reaches in and casts it as he pulls out Steven in his, arms. He's like, he was just hiding. He likes to hide behind the boots. He didn't want to make this guy feel, bad for anything. So he puts it down.
Doran's looking underneath the book. He's like, oh no.
Honestly, Steven hides in all the weirdest places. You never know which direction he's going to come out of.
Oh, he had the best time here, didn't you, Steven? Oh, that means he had the best time. Thank you so much for watching over him.
I suppose you're here to use the circles?
To Mirabar, yeah.
Well, get on with it then. Leave me in peace.
Okay.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Oh, actually, there was one thing that I wanted to give to you. And Kraloth pulls out a little pouch. And he holds it out to him and says, hey, I noticed that you were doing some cooking when you came in, and it smelled real good. But these are some spices that you might be able to use in your next culinary adventure. Just thought you might like that.
He takes it from you with a confused look on his face, and opens it suspiciously. Well, thank you.
It's called paprika.
Mm-hmm. Put it on fish.
Or is it paprika?
Is it a gift or did you need me to pay you?
No, of course, it's a gift. A way of saying thank you for your service and for telling us about the town.
Not only that, I wanted to give you a bit of money for watching Steven here. And I give him 2 gold. I'm just you kept him company. Steven loves getting in those cupboards.
Don't pity me. I'm okay here by myself.
I don't think anyone's pitying you, friend. I think
What's all this stuff for?
I think you just need to
I just think you're a nice guy, and I
realize that people like
yeah.
you. We're just those type of people.
Doran's pushing his way through the back door.
Yeah, I think Jack's sort of on that precipice where Doran's in the backyard and Jack's on the threshold waiting for the others to...
Mm-hmm. And Kraloth and Red, who need everyone to like them, are desperately trying to get this man's approval. Being just take the gifts. That's all.
He gives you both kind of a curt nod.
Did you see that? Kraloth, he likes us. We did it.
All right. Low five. Discreet.
Gotcha.
Discreet 5.
That's my butt.
You step through the glowing blue runes and are enveloped in the portal, disappearing into the void as you travel north, far north to Mirabar. Whoopity 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 whoop.
Down.
I mean, it's got to have that good whoosh from like Stargate or something. That's the pretty much.
The teleportation circle empties you out into a dim loft filled with straw and the smell of animals. Nearby, there's a simple cot and a ladder leading down to the main floor.
Jack, do people ever get trapped in between portals?
God, I hope not.
I mean, it depends on which way you dissect that question, because it's not that there's much in between to get trapped in, but if something were to go wrong, one might find themselves ejected onto the astral plane or the ethereal plane or something. Like, it's not unheard of, but it's pretty rare, especially these circles are very anchoring for teleportation. I think, like, I'm turning it around in my head. I think I've almost got ways to do one without a whole circle. I'm still thinking about it, but, you know, these anchors are really what make it as safe as possible.
Jack's still just like sitting on his ass in the straw, like postulating about teleportation circles.
There's like a chicken just clucking by.
And as he is, Doran's like lying back and has started to snooze into the night.
It's at that moment when a dwarf dressed in warm-looking rough-spun wool and leather overalls pops his head up into the loft. Hey, come on now. Hop down from there.
Hey. My name's Red. This is my best friend Jack. And this is my best friend Doran. And this is my best friend Kraloth. We'll hop down from here. And Red follows.
Yep. Come on, Doran.
He hops up into the loft. This dwarf is obviously, I mean, he works here. He's got straw in his beard. And as you sort of pick yourselves up, he's kicking hay back over the runes that are inscribed in the knotted plank floor. He's like disguising the fact that there ever was a circle here. And he's like, quick as you will, hop down. Name's Zasper, like the mineral. Howdy, Mr. Iron Fist. How'd you do?
Oh, good to meet you, Asper. How did you know my name was Iron Fist?
The steel. Come on. And he scales the ladder super quick back down into the body of the stable. As you look down, you can see that this moderately sized stable holds horses, ponies, and goats, but it looks totally mundane. This is clearly kind of a secret situation here.
My name is Red. Did he heard that he said my name is Red, right? Kraloth, he heard me say that I was Red, didn't he? He didn't say hi to me. He said hi to Doran. Why did he say hi to Doran?
Doran's name kind of precedes him. I mean, he's a bit of a big deal.
What is he, like 3'5"?
Kraloth gives a reassuring pat on Red's back.
Doran hears this and looks back at Red, and just with a knowing glance, he kind of makes some eyes at you, and he points to his own height, and he points to the height of the other.
It's a lot of knowing glances again. We're really getting this
Back to
down.
knowing glances.
Yes.
We love those.
Go, come on, let's move.
You hop down from this loft and you find that Zasper's already sort of busied himself. He's like mucking one of the stalls. The Mirabaran authorities would be angry to learn us Harpers have got an unlicensed teleportation circle within the city walls. You fellas can keep it under your lids now, eh?
Of course.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
There's nothing more we like to do. Keep things to ourselves.
Sneaky sort, I like it. All right. Hope you guys pack some warmer clothes than those, eh? We're in a cold snap. Freeze the beard off your face.
Well, we did have warmer clothes, but, sorry guys, I've been meaning to tell you this. Remember those jars I picked up? And Red sort of like looks into the bag of holding, and he's like, yeah, there's a few broken glass bits that cut them all to shreds. We might need to buy some new ones.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Sorry.
Listen, and Doran turns to this dwarf. You say Zasper is your name?
Zasper, yeah.
Yeah, good to meet you. And Doran puts out a hand.
He gives you a hearty shake.
Have you got somewhere where we can lay our heads down for the evening? We're exhausted, and we're gonna need some clothes.
Yeah, there's a dwarf-friendly inn just around the corner. It's called the Root Inn. Finrain will get you set up right.
Well, will these fellas fit? And I point to like Kraloth and the Tabaxi.
I mean, most of the folk on the surface here have got some beds for larger folk, for sure. Now, there's a tailor nearby. Shop's called the Magic Needle. No relation to the Harpers at all. Just a good, reputable fella. He'll get you sorted out with some proper gear. Hey,
Yeah.
mind what I said now. This stable's nothing but a roof to keep some horses dry. No funny business.
Yeah, understood.
And you never saw us, eh? Yeah, you know what you're saying.
Gonna have a hard time keeping it to myself that I didn't have Door and Iron Fist here in the stable. But yeah, I'll do my best. All right, you gentlemen, on your way now. On your way.
He did it again, Kraloth. He said Doran, not even me. He didn't even notice me.
What?
I'm a big furry person.
What's the date when we arrive in Mirabar?
It's the night of the 23rd of Uktor coming into the 24th. So you guys said that you're going to meet Harshnag on the 25th. You've got a day here to burn.
Red, you keep fletching those arrows the way you fletch them. Maybe one day you'll be as famous as Doran, or more so.
Damn right.
From fletching arrows, probably. That's how you'll probably reach fame.
Yeah.
I saved a baby.
You shaved a baby? When did you shave
Let's
a baby?
go find a room. And tomorrow we can go to the Magic Needle, get some good clothes and
Yeah.
The city of Mirabar is stark in its contrast to the commotion of the nights in Yarder. As you make your way through the city for the first time, you notice that it is kind of a gloomy, industrious place. It's well built, definitely influenced by dwarven hands. It's a mixture of military, human, and brutalist dwarven architecture. Interestingly enough, a lot of these buildings seem to have been created to attend to people of many different sizes. So many buildings have got lower doorknobs on their front entranceways. The window sills are lower. The stairwells have got shorter stairs to accommodate for smaller legs. This is like a city that is built to accommodate dwarves and humans. Some places even have two differently sized front doors in the face of their establishment.
Cool.
And you said it's cold. Is it snowing right now? Is
It's
it blustering?
fucking freezing.
Yeah.
It's so cold. Mirabar it looks like it's been seeing some blizzards for the past couple of weeks at least. So all of the roofs are hung with snow and icicles. There are snowbanks, some of them like muddy and trudged through. But yeah, it's cold as hell. And it's definitely winter up here. This is the fucking frozen north, guys. It's not quite as bad as East Haven, where you guys were when you were hanging out with Dazan, but this is real cold.
Damn, boys. Maybe we should have stayed in Yada.
Oh, man.
It's too late for that now.
I don't know. I kind of like the sleeping in the cold, getting all snuggled up and warm in a blanket, you know?
I can tell this is a friendly place.
What makes you feel that way?
Oh, look around. It's full of dwarven architecture, Jack. I mean, come on now. These are my people. I feel at home here. Something about it. Something about the sizes of the doors. It says, anybody's welcome.
I think that dog is dead.
Yeah,
Just frozen. Just a frozen dog.
Everyone that you
Like his death.
Eviscerated corpse.
just a frozen.
Hey there, buddy.
That's really funny, actually. Everyone that you see in the streets, and there aren't that many people, probably because it's getting dark and it's so cold outside, but everyone's really bundled up for the weather too. Fur-lined capes and multiple layers of woolen clothing, capes with hoods and all that crap. So you guys want to head to the Root Inn that you
The
were
Root
recommended, or
Inn.
to the
Yeah,
to
let's
the
make
tailors?
haste
It's a
to
bit
the
late
Root
to go
Inn.
to the tailors, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. The route.
Find
in-
Finran. Finrain?
Finrain, yeah. So
Finrain.
you ask for directions maybe, and you're pointed to a very cozy looking inn. It's just a single story, but a warm glow is emanating from the panes of glass in the front of this shop. The tile hung over the front door has just got a couple of root vegetables, like a onion and a carrot and shit, all just
Rutabaga.
painted on. Yeah. You bust in through the door, and you are greeted by a short male, like short for a dwarf, male named Finrain. He's like, "Hey, how's it going, guys? What can I do for you tonight?"
Oh, well.
A bed and a room for us, please.
Yeah, a nice warm bed, please. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. You gonna have some dinner or lots of space in the common room? And you look around, and there's a couple of dwarves around here. There's a halfling, and then the rest of the patrons are humans. It's not a terribly lively scene. Folks are mostly just eating and enjoying their dinner, but yeah, there's space for you to sit down if you want to have a meal.
I think a quick bite would be nice. Warm our bones.
Yeah.
Bring us your host special, eh?
Something hot.
You guys get sat down. He slides you some kind of meat and potato stew. It's tasty. It's hearty. And then after dinner, you guys head upstairs, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jack's definitely looking for an hour of time by himself near a fire somewhere where he's going to do some magics.
Well, each of the rooms has their own fireplace, so you can definitely do that with some privacy here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? It might be nice for us to each get our own room. I feel like this is, for some reason, a good point where we all take a little break from each
Get some
other. You
alone
know what I
time.
mean? Like,
It's kind of nice, actually,
Yeah.
to like get a bit of space.
we love each other.
Sure.
We meet each other in the hall. We're like, listen, we all get it. Love you. No, nothing wrong, but, you know, we want to do some grooming on our own.
The chances of us being harassed by
Hunt
followers,
lords.
hunt lords of any variety, probably the least likely the moment we arrive, and it only gets more likely the longer we stay in a place. So it's never safer to have our own room than the first night.
I mean, honestly, I don't think we've had a second alone since, you know, at least a few weeks.
Yeah, it's true.
Before you guys are finished speaking about, how you're wanting your alone time, there's like Doran slams his door and you hear the axe go into the headboard and then a third bump of him hitting the bed. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
He didn't even push the beds together.
Classic. All right, so Jack, you have some stuff that you want to do by yourself. You're going to summon Kieran.
Yeah.
Kraloth, I mean, Doran's going straight to bed. I love it. Kraloth, do you have anything that you want to attend to before bedtime?
Yeah, you hear the voice through the muffled door of Kraloth, just having a muffled conversation.
Yeah, cool. So, Red, you're settling in for the evening as well.
Yeah, a moment alone, I shut the door and light the fire and yeah, like genuinely haven't had a moment alone for what it seems like a month almost, you know?
Yeah, you guys have been definitely keeping close company, especially with Lehman's tiny hut, sleeping in close quarters, doing a lot of adventuring together. You hear a curious sound as you are getting ready for bed, tending the fire, doing your tabaxi yoga or whatever the hell it is that you do. You hear a strange sound coming from within the bag of holding.
And Red gets almost excited and he goes to the door for a second and like opens it a crack and looks out into the hall and then shuts it again and like locks the door. He walks over to the bed and kneels at the side of the bed and puts the bag of holding on its side and reaches in and he pulls out in the dim light of the fire the Umber Hulk egg. And he holds it in his hands. He's been waiting for this. Secretly at night, he's been trying to keep it warm and keep it comfortable.
Just spooning
and,
this weird egg.
For little moments, he just like slip his hand in the bag of holding and he like puts it, and part of the old weather clothing that he said was broken, he actually just tore up and made into like a little nest for the egg within the bag of holding. And finally, as this like small little cracking comes out, he pulls the Umber Hulk egg out and just looks at it as it starts opening on the bed before him. He's got like a little piece of meat and he's got like a little piece of veggie from the stew in case he wants either. Like there's little pieces of food that have been kept secretly from meals in the past, and Red is like ready for this thing to hatch.
Yeah, it comes out of this kind of thick eggshell, mandibles first, making a weak clacking noise as it explores the air for the first time. This creature is almost kind of like a burnt orange color, and its crazy eyes appear next out of this eggshell as it drops away onto the bed and it fixates on you. And you watch as its pupils kind of spin and regard you, the strange alien intensity.
Hi,
Red says, and like bunches up the pillows around it a little bit and like starts making it this tiny little fort on the bed. And he's like, I'm your daddy. My name is Red. You're going to be my best friend.
Full on empty nest syndrome going on with Red. That's
Yeah, 100%. And he like lifts that little piece of shell off its head like John Hammond.
I was gonna say it's a
And-
fucking Jurassic
Oh,
Park
100%.
scene here.
Boosh. And he like lets it get out on its own. You know, he
That's
knows the whole
cool.
thing. And then as it finally breaks out, he like scoops it up in his little furry paws and tries to bring it into his chest to
Yeah.
embrace it.
Yeah. It's a weak little creature. It does have sharp claws.
Ow.
Already?
No.
The way that like puppies and kittens have like needle teeth when they're little. It's
Yeah.
like it's already dangerous, but it's clearly it needs to be taught what is food and what is not.
Yeah. And I think Red has the piece of meat and has the piece of veggie, and he like debates for a second. And then he eats the piece of meat and feeds it veggie only. It's going to turn this to a vegetarian Umber Hulk.
That's adorable. And I think its instinct kicks in after it cuddles with you for like a good 20 minutes, sort of making weird chirping sounds. It starts to explore your bed, and it's like it does like a tiny tunnel. It like digs a little bit through the mattress.
Yeah.
And like
And
looks
then
really pleased with it.
Red's like, oh, no. Like pulls its little things out, and then smash cut to like Red has like tied on two little mitts on its little claws, just like a lobster claw, you know? So it's like trying to tunnel and it's just tearing at the thing. He's like, don't worry, I'm going to get us outside at one point and we'll get to tunnel all day. I want to teach you how to do all the cool things, but for now, we can't ruin this place. We've been kicked out of so many inns. Oh, I got so many stories to tell you. It's going to be wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, Red is someone who has done this with animals back in Maztica. I do think he's the kind of thing to weirdly nurture animals and then let them go. I think he is very much has that ranger sense of like having a bestial friend and familiar to an extent.
But also, I'm sure like you felt bad. You killed its parents. There were these eggs. You know, you wanted
there's
to.
many obvious layers to this. None of which need to be explained.
Cool. I love that. We'll
Red
check.
sleeps with it, like right next to it, like cuddle up.
So sweet. It's like a little bit nocturnal, so I'm sure that you get the best sleep, but it's
babies are
definitely
known for
exciting.
letting you sleep really comfortably through the night. I
Straight up.
understand.
Worth it.
Jack, while Red is getting to know this new life form, you are summoning your spirit, right? What happens?
Yeah, and it's the first time in a long time where Jack's had a minute alone to sort of sit in front of a fire with the incense and herbs and charcoal and sort of get the perfect fire going and infused with magic and that ability to reach out into the beyond and connect with that familiar spirit of Kieran. And I think like intellectually, mentally, he's going through the catalog of like, what are all the perfect forms for a familiar that could, you know, help us and gain all the advantages we could possibly need on the adventure to come. And I think that sort of gets overwhelmed as he's reaching out with this like, you know, need for some unconditional love and someone to shepherd him on the right path. And so I think there's this moment where he makes contact with this form of Kieran that is just this heavenly creature that jumps out of the fire as this puffy golden retriever, just ready to jump into his lap and you know, be all over him.
Oh,
Hey, boss.
Hey, Kieran, I'm so glad you're back.
It's nice to be back.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good to see you. And yeah, just a heartfelt reunion with brand new golden retriever Kieran.
They give you like these slimy kisses all over your face.
And you know, Jack's into it. He needed that little bit of affection from someone. It's been a tough time on the road.
Absolutely. And maybe partly influenced by the fact that it is chilly in this inn.
Mm-hmm.
Kieran definitely contributes to helping you stay warm at night, as this is the first night by yourself in a room. So they're like curled up in your bed with you. Like
Jack definitely does the math and is like, there's no way to get a 10-foot radius thing in here that's not going to cut off half of two other people's rooms. I guess I'll probably not. I'll just stoke the fire nice, but
cute.
I think there's just something about that pure bundle of lovely energy.
I love that. And so as you each retire to your rooms, the sun sets on the city of Mirabar.
Another cold night on the road. Thank you once again to our Patreon supporters, Christopher Ryan Evans, Colin Burkhart, Daniel, Doug, Jessica Orrit, Mari Canisti, Katie Orrit, and Merlin. Thank you so much. See you soon.